evening, and today we study about Nadab, and it's 1 King chapter 14 verse 20. And the days which Jeroboam reigned were 22 years, and he slept with his father, and Nadab his son reigned in his stead. Okay, and so it's just talking about Nadab. Who is he? The son of Jeroboam. Nadab means liberal, and he's son of Jeroboam, so he's from the tribe of Ephraim. He reigned 2 years, and king of Judah during his time is Asa, and he reigned in the second year of King Asa's reign. His character, okay, you can move to chapter 15 verses 25 to 27. And Nadab, the sons of Jeroboam, began to reign over Israel in the second year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned over Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in his sin wherewith he made Israel to sin. And Baasa, the son of Ahijah of the house of Issachar, conspired against him, and Baasa smote him at Gibbethon, which belongeth to the Philistines. For Nadab and all Israel lay siege to Gibbethon. Okay. So character, he's evil. He just did evil, and he just walked in the ways of his father. His judgment at the siege of Gibbethon, which belonged to Philistines, and a conspiracy broke out in the midst of the army, and the king was slain by Baasa, and the man of Issachar. Okay, and so he die, and that is the end of King Jeroboam lines. Okay, and Baasa, now he become king. Baasa means offensive. Okay, a son of Ahijah and the tribe of Issachar. Okay, he's starting new reign, and of course, King Judah during his reign still Asa, and he reigned 24 years. It's such a long time. And then personal character you can find in 1 King 15 verse 27. Okay, and then chapter 16 verse 1 to 7. Then the word of the Lord came into Jehu, the son of Hananiah, against Baasa, saying, Forasmuch as I exalted thee out of the dust, and make thee prince over my people Israel, and thou hast walked in the way of Jeroboam, and hast made my people Israel to sin, and to provoke me to anger with their sins. So Baasa, he was promoted by the Lord, but yet he committed sins against God. So behold, I, the Lord, will take away the posterity of Baasa and the posterity of his house. And I will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Him that dieth of Baasa in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth of his in the fields shall the fowls of the air eat. And now the rest of the ark of Baasa, what he did, his might are not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Israel. So Baasa slept with his father, and was buried with Tirzah, and Elah his son reigned in his stead. So Baasa, he killed the king to become the new king. Upon his accession to the throne, exterminated the house of Jeroboam as God has pronounced. So he smote all the house of Jeroboam, left not any that breathed, according to the saying of Ahijah the prophet, because of the sins of Jeroboam. He was used then to fulfill the prophecy to the end of Jeroboam's seed. Yet, his reigns were no improvement from that of Jeroboam, for he too did evil in the sight of the Lord and walked in the way of Jeroboam. And he was chiefly remarkable for his hostility to Judah, built Ramah that he might suffer any to go out and come into Asa, king of Judah. Okay, he dust his power upon himself. Okay, he dust upon himself his wisdom rather than God, and that is the common sins of all the evil kings, that trust in himself, trust in fear the people, trust in himself, like that. That's just common sins of all the evil kings. We should not trust in ourselves. We should trust in God alone, and we should not fear the people, rather fear God. The people, the Bible said that they can take away our lives in the flesh, but they cannot take away our life in the spirit. But we fear Him, God, who has power to take away either the flesh and the spirit. Okay, so because of his sins, so God judged him for his idolatries. The prophet Jehu declared to him the determinations of God to exterminate his family also. I will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam. And this was accomplished in the days of his son Elas by Zimri. Okay. Another information, the relationship with the kings of Judah was fought. Build Ramah so that nobody can come in and come out. King Asa, however, allied with Syria, who smote Ijon, Dan, and store cities of Naphtali, so that Baasha was prevented from further troubling Judah. And prophet during his reign, that Jehu, son of Hanani, who prophesied extinctions of his house, fulfilled during the days of his son. Man of death, he died when he was 24th year of reign and buried in Tirzah. Okay, he died a natural death. Okay, his son reigned in his stage. His son named Ela, means an oak. So, of course, the tribe of Issachar also, he reigned only past 2 years, and was the last king of Baasha line. Okay, and characters is also evil. Walk in the way of Jeroboam, did evil in the sight of the Lord, and make Israel to sin, and provoking the Lord God of Israel to anger with their vanities. And he was a drunkard king. Judgment and death. And his servant Zimri, captain of half his chariots, conspired against him, as he was in Tirzah, drinking himself drunk in the house of Ahaziah, steward of his house in Tirzah. And Zimri went in and smote him and killed him. And the 27th year of Asa, King Judah reigned his stead, fulfilled the prophecies of the Lord. Okay, so you can see that God continued to send prophets to the kings, reminded the kings to keep the way of the Lord, or else you'll be exterminated. Yet he did not obey, and he exterminated, and he got used another person, the one that exterminated that king, to become a new king and remind that person again to keep the way of the Lord. Yet he's still doing evil. Kings after kings after kings. God keep on reminding. When there was no one, God already told them, and now when they become king, they forget God. And we can see that it's keep on happening again. So The people only remember God, need God helps when they are nothing. But when they are something, they tend to forget God. Not only they tend, but not most, but all king of Israel forgot God when they became kings. Okay, so we have to remember the Lord. It's easy to remember God when we are poor, when we are in need, when we are in problems, when we are in troubles. But it's hard to remember God when we are rich, we are sufficient. Okay, the same things here in Vietnam during the time of persecutions. They are soul winners, evangelicals, Pentecostal, etc. They are soul winners. They're going soul winning. When is what's that? Before 2000, the year 2000, during the time of persecution, imprisonment, beaten, they go soul winning. They are really soul winners. But now, when they have permit, Pentecostal have permit, Evangelical, when they have permit already, they do not go soul winning anymore. No more go soul winning. So they just stay in the church and waiting for people to come. That is a thing that happening here in Vietnam. So I pray that those who are Vietnamese, uh, uh, if I would not say that, if I pray for persecution, so that you will go out of your comfort room, you go out of your church, go so winning. Okay, so but let's go and so winning before the Lord sent the persecution. In Acts chapter 8 verse 1, the disciple did not fulfill, the apostles did not fulfill the Lord's command. Ye shall be witnesses unto me, what? Into Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. They did not fulfill. They just want to stay in Jerusalem. They just want to stay in their comfort zone. They don't want to go out to the Gentiles. They don't want to go to Samaria. They did not want to go to Samaria, to Judah, or to uttermost part of the earth. They did not want to go. That's why the Lord sent the persecution to let them go. Okay, so if you are just sitting, laying in your bed and comfort, and or sitting hiding behind the shield of the church, I do not know. Someday the Lord will send the persecution so that you will go. Let us go before the Lord send the persecution. Let us go and tell the world. Okay, Bible school students, be bold. Okay, like Apostle Paul said, brethren, pray for me, the boldness that I will preach the gospel of Christ. That's the thing that we really need, the boldness of sharing the gospel of Christ. Okay, do not fear the people like these kings. Okay, do not follow the your own wisdom. Okay, and do not fear the people. God give people to you, and God can take them away. Okay, and if God take them away, God can give to you another one. Don't worry. Okay, do not be like King Jeroboam. He be what? The calf on the north and the south, so that the people will not go out. These people is only my people. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, and look at King Ella also. What they build this and that. King Basa, they build this and that so that the people will not go out. Okay, of their coast, neither come into their coast. Okay, those are God's people, not yours peoples. Okay, when you Bible school students, when you become pastors, oh no, the church capacity is not count on the sitting capacity, but sending capacity. Okay, the church strength is not count on the sitting capacity, but on the sending capacity. Okay, so that's the always reminder from Pastor Naple. Let us go. Okay, let us go. And we go to next king, Jimri. Okay, Jimri is the one who killed King, what's that, King Ella, and he became king. So Jimri, name famed, Jimri means famed in song, and captain half of chariots of royal army, and but it's a chief conspirator against King Allah and kill him. So his first act as king was slaying of the house of Baasa to fulfill the commandment of God, the prophecy. He reigned for 7 days. What? Only 7 days. But look at this. Only 7 days, yet he did evil already in the sight of the Lord. Imagine he has only 7 days to become king, and he already did evil in the sight of the Lord, walking in the way of Jeroboam and his sin which he did to make Israel to sins. Conspired against king of Allah and killed him. Okay, we know that one. And now judgment and his death. His conspiracy and murder of the king was heard by the army which at that time was besieging the Philistine town of Gibeon. And when they heard of Elah's murder, proclaimed their general Omri king. Omri immediately marched against Tirzah and took the city. Jimri retreated into the innermost part of the late king's palace and set it on fire and perished in the ruins. So he committed suicide. Okay, so most of the Israelites, they die because of they fighting with each other, they killing each other. For the evil deeds and treasons, the Lord cut short his reign for 7 days. Jimri's death make the end of Basa's line. Omri. Omri means handful. The commander armies of Elah, okay, and proclaimed king by his army. And then we read this one a while ago already. And he had a oppositionist, okay, oppositionist in the persons of Tibni. People were divided, but after a civil war of 4 years, Omri was left undisputed master of the throne. So there he reigned 12 years. He also evil. Anxious to strengthen his dynasty, he made alliance with foreign states, make treaty with King Syrian king, and admitted to Samaria resident Syrian embassy, which is described by the expression, he make streets in Samaria. Okay, so he seek for stronger components, partner, so that he strengthen himself. Okay, like okay, sometimes we are weak. We are looking for someone that is rich, someone that has position in the government, that we can trust, we can lay on, we can lean on. We can gain trust from someone in the government. We can lean on that person. We can, ask help from that person. Oh no, we should not. We should trust in God. Okay, we should not trust in unbeliever, despite of his positions or his riches. Okay, we should trust in the Lord alone, not on the riches of unbeliever. He united his sons in marriage to the daughter of the principal of Phoenician prince, which led to the introductions to Israel of Baal worship. Okay, now the Lord already commanded them since the old time, Joshua, do not intermarriage with them. Yet He just because of the sake of money, position, power. So they send the son to marriage with the daughter of a Phoenician's prince. Okay. And of Omri, it is said that, but Omri wrought evil in the sight of the Lord, and is worse than all that were before him. Imagine that he brought Baal, come and worship Baal. Okay, more idols. He walked in the ways of Jeroboam, the sons of Nebat, and in his sins, wherewith he made Israel to sin and to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger with their vanities. Imagine, you can see this word, the kings provoked the Lord to anger. The king provoked the Lord to anger, repeated many times in all the kings of Israel. So therefore his judgment and death. For walking in the way of Jeroboam and doing worse than all that before him, the Lord cut off his reign. Omri slept with his fathers and buried in Samaria. He died a natural death. Okay, so wait, I'll just drink water. Okay, Ahab has a lot of chapters, things talk about him. So 1 King chapter 16 verses 28. Okay, chapter 16 verse 28 over here. So Omri slept with his fathers, was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. Okay, and then verse 22 and verse 2, verse 40. Okay, so Ahab in the 30 and 8 years of Asa, or it's talking about Asa already. Okay, so we move to Chronicles, 2 Chronicles over here. Chapter 18, verses 1 to 24. They're talking about Ahab and his reign. So Jehoshaphat hath riches and honorable abundant John affirmity with Ahab. So Ahab, the king of Israel, and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, they make friend. Okay, affirmity. Okay, and then certain years he went down to Ahab to Samaria, and Ahab killed the sheep and oxen for him in abundance, and for the people that he had with him, and persuaded him to go up with him to Ramoth Gilead. And Ahab king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat king of Judah, Wilt thou go with me to Ramoth Gilead? And he answered him, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, and we will be with thee in the war. So Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. The difference between kings of Israel, or in the northern kingdom, and in Judah or southern kingdom, is that the southern kingdom always asks for most of the king, ask for the will of God, while the northern kingdom, they do not. They never ask for the will of God. Okay, so Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, he make friends with Ahab, king of Israel, or the northern kingdom, and they go together in the war, and Jehoshaphat asked the will of God. So therefore the king of Israel gathered together of the prophets, found 100 men, and said unto them, Shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for God will deliver it to the king's hand. Okay? But Jehoshaphat knew these 400 men are false prophets. They are not the prophet of the Lord. Okay. So, but Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of him? So, these 400 prophets is not the prophets of the Lord, the true God, the Jehovah. Okay? These 400 prophets are maybe prophets of Baal. Okay? So that is the reason why Joseph was asking for the prophet of the Lord. Okay, not this 400 fake one. So the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, for he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. The same is Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. And the king of Israel called for his officers and said, Fetch quickly Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, sat either of them on his throne, clothed with their robes. And they sat in a void place at the entering of the gate of Samaria. And Samaria is the bordering, okay, between the south and the north. So they sat somewhere in the middle, in the border. And all the prophets prophesied before them, okay. And Zedekiah, the son of Cheniah, had made him horns of iron, and said, Thus saith the Lord, With these thou shalt push Syria until they be consumed. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead, and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it unto the hand of the king. Now, all of the prophets that are fake prophets, they just, go up, the Lord shall deliver thee, the Lord shall deliver it unto the hand of the king. Come on, go up. But look at this. And the messenger that went to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold, the words of the prophet declare good to the king with one assent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be one like of theirs, and speak thou good. Okay? So look at that. The king of Israel, they just want God to follow his will. That's it. The king of Israel asked for the prophet not to ask the will of God for him, but ask for the prophet to tell God, follow what his will is. See that? But the true prophet of God, of course, will not do that. The two prophets of God said, As the Lord liveth, even what my God said, that will I speak. That is a true prophet of God. So now, and verse 14, And when he was come to the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, Go ye up and prosper, and they shall delivered unto your hand. And the king said unto him, How many times shall I adjure thee that thou say nothing but the truth to me in the name of the Lord? Then he said, I did see all Israel scatter upon the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, They have no master. Let them return, therefore, every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, See, Did not I, or did I not tell thee, that he would not prosper good unto me, but evil? Again he said, therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne. Okay, you king, you sit on your throne, but you have to remember, it is the Lord is also sitting on his throne in every circumstances. God is always on his throne. So, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. Imagine that in every circumstances, despite of how rich or how powerful the king is, God is the only one sitting on the throne. All the hosts of heaven standing on the right hand and on the left, waiting for his command. And the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying, after this manner, another saying, after that manner. Then came out the Spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? How did you do it? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt not prevail. Go out and do even so. Thou also prevail. So go out and do even so. So God allowed his angel, one of the angels, to go out and entice Ahab. You see that one? So now therefore, before the Lord had put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil against thee. You see that one? So Micah told the truth. Ahab did not believe. He already been enticed. How can he know? He already been enticed. So Zedekiah, the son of Chenaanah, came near and smote Micah upon the cheek, and said, which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me, and speak unto thee? Okay. And Micah said, behold, thou shalt see on that day, when thou shalt go into inner chamber to hide thyself. Then the king of Israel said, take ye Micah, and carry him back to Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash the king's son, and say, thus said the king, put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction, and with water of affliction, until I return in peace. And Micah said, if thou certainly return in peace, then hath not the Lord spoken by me. And he said, hearken on ye people. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself, and I will go to the battle. But put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went to the battle. Okay? Disguised himself as a soldier, so that when they shoot, the king over there, shoot. So the real king will be okay. Oh, come on, you are trying to foolish God. Okay, you're trying to surpass the prophecies of the Lord. Oh no, that is a terrible thing. It is a terrible sin. You cannot disguise yourself before God. So now the king of Syria has commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying, fight ye not with small or great, save only the king of Israel. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, it is the king of Israel. Therefore they compassed about him to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him. God moved them to depart from him. Imagine that. Imagine that. They surrounded the king, but yet Joseph cried out, and the Lord helped him and moved the enemies depart from him. Imagine that. For it came to pass that when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back again from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at the venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. And therefore he said to his chariotsman, Turn thy hand, thou mayst carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And in the battle increased that day. Howbeit the king of Israel stayed himself up in his chariots again, and the Syrians until the evening. And about the time the sun go down, he died. Fulfill the commandment of the Lord. See? So, you can read the Bible and memorize this. These are just a summarize. If you read from the Bible, it's much nicer, right? Okay. After that, there, so when Jehoshaphat, when Ahab died, another king, Ahaziah, become king. So Ahaziah is the son of Ahab, king of Israel. So his successes in every sense, being completely under the control of Jezebel and idolatry, was as his father. So he reigns in the 17th year of Jehoshaphat. Personal history, background, and reign. So the most signal public of his reign was a revolt of the vassal king of Moabites, who took the opportunity of the defeat of the death of Ahab to discontinue the tribute which he has paid to the Israelites, consisting 100,000 lambs and as many rams with their wolf. What made him evil? Ahaziah walked in the way of his father Ahab, and in the way of his mother, in the way of Jeroboam, the sons of Nebat, who make Israel to sin. He served Baal and worshipped him, provoked the Lord God of Israel to anger, and do according to all that his father done it. And when he became ill due to falling down from the lattice of his upper room, he sought not God of Israel, but sought inquire Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron. Imagine that. None of the king of Israel seek after God's will. None. Ahaziah was injured from the roof gallery of his palace of Samaria. And then he sent messenger to inquire Baal-zebub, the idol of Ekron, what should be the result of his injury. But the messenger were met and sent back by Elijah, who announced that he would rise no more from the bed upon which he lay. So in another formations, he with King Jehoshaphat joined with him in maritime expeditions, make ships. So like his father, he like father like son, he's make friend with Jehoshaphat. And King Jehoshaphat was rebuked by the prophet Eliezer for joining affirmity with Ahaziah, that their ship was broken. Okay, and then during his reign, Elisha, the Tishbite is the prophet, First instance, sent by God after his fall and was asked to meet his messenger. And then second, he was fetched by King Ahaziah on the third time he went. Manner of death, he died according to the word of the Lord which Elijah has spoken, so he will not come out from the bed anymore. So he reigned 2 years. Okay. So continue to read on Jehoram, because it's very easy. This one is just reading the Bible, and this is just summarized from the Bible. Okay. Actually, I'm not teaching. I'm just reading for you. Okay. Very. The hard thing is memorize. That is a hard thing. Okay, memorize. Just one king's birthday. Okay, one king birthday. Try to list down, memorize it. Okay, so can we have exam next week? Okay, just because if I just read, I will just read for you, naman. Okay. Wow, it's really hard a lot. When I studied Bible school, I did not read much like this. There is a scope for it for exam, because if like this, you cannot memorize. Okay, so assignments. I want to make sure that you are reading it. Okay, because I cannot just give you scope, because if I give scope, you will just only study the scope for the exam. Okay, so you have to read it. Okay, record it so I know that you are reading. Okay, please read it. Be serious with the Lord. Okay, so I will give a quiz next week. Okay, wow, a lot. I don't know when we are going to finish this. Okay, see you next lesson.